House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
It is Tuesday, everybody. Day. I'm Jason Salas, and that means we are talking real estate. Liz and Gina, or depending on how you're looking at it, Gina and Liz from Remax Diamond Realty. Whatever order you guys are in, you guys are my best friends when it comes to understanding this stuff, and I have truly come to know about this stuff a little bit better because of you. So I thank you both. And Hafide, good to see you.
Hey.
All right, Liz, by the way, that was a great segment on Inafa Malik you did with Andy Wheeler earlier this week.
Thank you. We hope to get the message out to the schools. This week we're doing Weddingale. Last week we did Finnegaugin.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And good work you guys are doing over there. Oh, good work you guys are doing at Remax too, with hopefully the island beginning to get back together and the economy slowly starting to rebuild. But we were talking about MLS, the online system last week that both buyers and sellers use, but apparently there's something called a listing agent. I didn't even know that kind of thing exists. I thought that anybody that's licensed can go in there and can post and update and annotate properties and everything like that. So what exactly does a listing agent do?
So the MLS system is the multiple listing service, and it is available for the public, so sellers and buyers, tenants and landlords could get in there to look at general information, but that information can only be placed in there by the listing agent, and the listing agent of course is authorized to do that by the owners.
Oh, okay, so you're someone who's certified, so like the information that the sellers give is going to be the exact same information that gets posted online. Somebody's not going to dress it up or play it down or anything like that.
Liz, you want to take that?
I want to distinguish. There is a difference. A realtor is an agent that is part of the National Association of Realtors and also part of the Guam Association Realtors. So you may have a broker's license or a real estate agent's license. If you're not associated with a company, a real estate company that is part of that, you will not have access to MLS. So it's to your advantage as the consumer to find an agent that is a realtor. A realtor, again, is associated with the Guam Association of Realtors and also with the National Association. And we're governed by strict code of conduct. We're governed by ethics. But again, if you're not part of that organization, you are not part of the multiple listing service, because the multiple listing service is owned by the Guam Association of Realtors. So if you use a realtor, they definitely will promote your property as a listing agent and give it maximum coverage in terms of uploading it into the system. And as the listing agent, your obligation would be to try to promote that property so that it is sold or rented as quick as possible. So the multiple listing service does allow for that, so that out of the 500 realtors on island, you have maximum exposure of your property. So it behooves each agent, if I'm listing your property, Jason, to tell you about the benefits. When I list your property, what am I obligated to do? My fiduciary responsibility is to you and expose your property as much as possible, and to cooperate with other agents in terms of listing it, selling it, or renting it.
So Gina, if I take and I study and I prepare for the real estate exam, or I take the classes and then hopefully I pass on the first try, but knowing me, probably not, and I get my license, right? Would I immediately have listing agent capabilities as well as a realtor's capabilities? Is that covered under the license?
Well, once you pass your test and you're given a license, then technically speaking, yes, you have the ability to take listings. But and being in the business as long as Liz and I have been in the business, we understand and we fully promote that just because you have your license, it means you were able to pass the test. Now you've got to learn what you need to learn to be able to service your customers. because real estate is ever changing. I can't say that the test has been kept up to date. And it isn't just about the test. The test just tells you the basic laws that you need to know in order to operate as an agent, but it doesn't really educate you about what's currently going on with the laws, the situations that have changed. Like the Landlord Tenant Act, I don't think is addressed in the test, but that law went into effect in 2018. I mean, there's just a lot of changes. So with our company, once an agent passes the test and they come in here and they interview with us, what we promote to them is, number one, real estate is a full-time business. If you do it part-time, someone's getting the short end of the stick, because you're only able to dedicate a little bit of your time to the needs of your customers and your clients. And so, each customer and client needs to evaluate what you're getting from your realtor if they're not doing this on a full-time basis. So that's the first thing we tell our people.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Exactly. And the second thing we tell them is, now we need to start training you. And that could take a while, 6 months to a year, who knows? It's based on the individual. But we have a training program to actually explain to them what they need to know in order to provide the best service they can to their people, for their customers and clients.
Well, Liz, now my interest is peaked now. How much has the business changed in all the time that you and Gina have been doing real estate on Guam? Because you guys started in the 80s, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay, and granted, I'm out of the range where you guys can slap me upside the head for using specific dates and everything like that. But
I don't care.
Because of course we're all still 25.
Always.
Well, look this way. Every day Gina and I do real estate, there's always something that crops up that we may not have experienced before. Every day in real estate, there's always something new that pops up. And so realtors here, as anywhere in the States, we have to continuing education is critical. We're always taking courses. And how can we better serve the community if we're not up to date with the standards, with new stuff that come on board, with the new law? Because even though you pass the test, whatever you learned in order to pass the test is not necessarily the information needed, maybe some of it, but not all of it, for day-to-day practical practice of real estate. So education is critical. Continuing education, I have to emphasize continuing education, because what was prevalent probably in the 80s and 90s is no longer applicable today.
And teachers, healthcare professionals, lawyers, they all go through continuing education to stay sharp.
If they want to keep their license, that is what they have to do. So Gina and I promote that with our business, and our agents. The more you learn, the more they can earn, and the more they can better serve the consumer. So the law was passed that if you want to get your license renewed, you have to make sure within a 4-year window you have educational credits during that period. Mm-hmm. But going back to serving your consumer, your client, and your customers, your obligation as a realtor is to provide the up-to-date information, because if you're not up to date, you could be giving them the wrong information in terms of how to promote their property.
So Gina, if I'm of the mindset now, I want to get into real estate, I want to work in the business, I want to serve my community in a noble and hopefully dignified way, and hopefully pass the test again on the first try. And I want to provide one-stop shopping for my customers. Should I basically say, I've got to get my license, I've got to be a listing agent, I've got to have the whole soup to nuts, as they say, I've got to provide the whole suite of services all into myself? Or when someone goes to an agency like the one you guys run and everything like that, is that part of the deal?
Well, we are, unlike most agents in the States, most companies here are full service. We offer full service, right? So we do rentals. We can handle land transactions, selling and renting land. We handle commercial buildings. But here's the thing, when you are spread out like that, some of it, you know, Liz and I have been doing this for a while, so we have gotten the experience under our belt for almost all of these different parts of real estate. But if you've just gotten started, my advice to you is pick something you think you could really focus on, learn that, master that part of real estate, and then move on to the next thing. Because if you try to be everything to everybody without the experience behind that, you're really not going to be offering the very best service you can to the individual. So think of it that way. As you said, Jason, this is not a sales business. This is a service industry. And so in order for you to give the best service you can, focus on the thing that you want to learn most, really master that, and then move on, because that's the only way to do real estate. There's a lot to learn, so you can't do it all at once.
Okay, we'll tell you what. I obviously have some reading to do, but I'm really, really excited. I'm going to specialize in condos, and that's what I'm going to start out with. And then I'm going to apply at your agency and see if you guys are willing to pick me up. So I got some reading to do and some studying to do. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
All right. Thank you as always. And thank you guys for watching KOM. We'll see you next time.